Hello there and welcome to From Then to Now, the TEW 2020 save we take the World Wrestling Federation 1992 all the way up to modern day. And it's our September big event on ESPN. It's Saturday night's main event 33. I think at this point they had actually stopped. They never actually made it to 33, I don't think, until the 2006 one. So we have now overtaken them with the amount of Saturday night main events. We are in Canada, we are in Montreal. I'm excited for this show and I hope you guys are too. We've got some massive matches and some fun little angles. Let's get right into it. And we kick things off with a pre-show match in front of 16,000 people here. We didn't pick an actual venue because I couldn't actually find one which was big enough, but I wanted to have the Quebec area. And it's Jericho versus Hayabusa, two people who are currently on developmental deals in War. It's just two people who can basically go out there and show this audience something they've probably never seen before. Just flippy shit. High flyers doing their stuff. It's a 39 rating. It's on the pre-show. I wasn't expecting it to go good. It was just... essentially, it was a test for me to see what these guys' levels were like. 39, good stuff though. Our opening match of the main show sees Glenn Jacobs defeat Sergeant Slaughter in just over 12 minutes by referee's stoppage. Jacobs, essentially, the point of this thing is Jacobs, true to his point, never goes for a pin. He locks in submission moves, but as soon as it even looks like Slaughter's about to tap, he'll release it. But he never goes for a pin attempt. He hits chokeslam after chokeslam after chokeslam, body slam after body slam after body slam, powerbomb after powerbomb after powerbomb. He just decimates the older man. And he just takes his time with it. He is brutal. And eventually, the referee just stops the match. Jacobs wins. He won the Bootcamp and now he has destroyed Slaughter. And you know what? We're probably not going to see Slaughter again until the Raw after WrestleMania, where he'll announce the new season of the Bootcamp. Genuinely, I have no plans for Slaughter in between now and the Bootcamp again. But gets a 54 rating. Not too bad. They actually have pretty good chemistry, so I'll take that. And that is the end of Season 1 of Slaughter's Bootcamp. The Mountie comes out, cuts a promo in French, and he's basically saying this is his home crowd. We're in Canada. Why is the Mountie not on the card? And he gets interrupted by the boss man, who essentially says, you want to be on this card? Let's do this then. Gets a 92 rating. And we get a Screwjob. Not an actual Screwjob, but we get a Screwjob in Montreal. It's not a legitimate one, no, of course, I will point out, it's just an angle. The Mountie defeats the Big Boss Man after Jimmy Hart replaces the referee and calls for the submission in a Quebec crab without any tapping. And the crowd goes wild because in this point, the Mountie is kind of the babyface here. Jimmy Hart's kind of a bit of a babyface here because he's with the Mountie. So, we take the use of this and we keep the boss man strong. Well, despite their pop being very different. Boss man loses, but he definitely didn't tap. It's not even a close one where it's like, oh, did he? No. Jimmy Hart just called for the bell. I mean, it's a September pay-per-view in Montreal. What did you expect me to do? Oh, and that's also going to be the title of this episode, the Montreal Screwjob. We get a 70 rating match here. That's really impressive, actually. As the Legion of Doom defeat the Blue Bloods, when Hawk pins David Taylor with the Doomsday device to make their third defense of the tag team titles. 70s for both of the Road Warriors, a 62 for Regal and a 60 for David Taylor. These Blue Bloods, I mean, we're eventually going to take away the Joint Promotions logo from them because at this point I think they're beyond that. They are just really good talent. think they are now pretty much just solid tag team mid-carders for us. And eventually they are going to absolutely win these tag titles at some point. Just not right now. Next up, we have the final of the International Television Championship tournament. Razor Ramon versus Cactus Jack. It goes 14 minutes, and with a double arm DDT, Cactus Jack picks up the victory. So the actual belt for the International Television Championship is actually a belt which, if you were a wrestling fan in the 80s, you probably would recognise. Well, in the late 80s, early 90s. Although, I feel like even if you were a wrestling fan at that time, you weren't watching the show which had this belt, because it was in the dying days of the AWA. It's the old AWA International Television title. The one which I think Greg Gagne held in 89 or 90. But we bought that belt in because obviously we own AWA, so I bought all their belts. We might as well have them. And Cactus Jack is the first person to win it. In this company, at least. Ric Flair comes out, and he has a microphone for his promo. And he spends the entire entrance running down Canada. This is a weak area. This is not the strong place which America is. There is nothing which the Canadians can do except lose. And I'm going to prove that for you tonight when I beat your hometown boy, Bret Hart. This is it for Bret's chances in the main event. He's tried. He has had a great year. But to be the man, you've got to beat the man. And there is no way Bret Hart is beating the man. Bret's music hits, gets a massive pop. Flair runs to the ring, gets out of the way. Bret does his entrance, sunglasses to a kid. You know the deal. Let's get into the main event. And oh, god damn it, I've just seen their ratings compared to the actual match rating. They both get 100. They both got 100. And yet we couldn't get the 100 overall. Why? There is nothing negative here. Selling, momentum, charisma, quality. Selling, momentum, charisma, quality. Managerial chemistry, legendary gimmick. Worker chemistry, bonus refereeing, bonus road agent. Why? What more can I do? Oh. God's sake. But, either way, in a clean finish, Ric Flair wins. Taking his spot, he will be fighting Yokozuna at Survivor Series for the WWF World Championship. It's 94. I can't, honestly, I'm amazed. If we go back a few months ago, I'd be shouting for a 94. The fact that I'm disappointed in that says a lot about how far we've come. And now let's go into our post-show, our dark matches. We see the Bushwhackers versus the Beverly Brothers, just so we could say that we did it. Bushwhackers pick up the win in a hardcore match, because their gimmick was they were slightly getting more hardcore. We had the hardcore match here, just so I can say that I did the match and I didn't just drop it completely. So 22 because it was dire. Muta defeats Steve Armstrong, and Muta doesn't work with Jim Cornette. This show is testing me today. This game is testing me. Okay, Muta gets a 53, 38 for Armstrong. Muta picks up the win. The Shining Wizard at this point. It would be the Moonsault, surely. The Wizard wasn't until like early 2000s, wasn't it? Someone who's better in Japanese wrestling history than me, correct me in the comments if I'm wrong. And the overall main event of the show, Randy Savage teams with Kevin Von Erich to take on Bob Bradley and Jim Powers. Just a quick match against one of the big stars that was not really been doing much recently on the show. Savage picks up the win, hitting Jim Powers with the elbow drop. really is just an easy match. What do we get overall, though? An 88. There we go. For a month which has pretty much been carried by Flair and Brett. Again, I think here it was carried by Flair and Brett. Although the Mountie did some great work on this show. Like, I think, yeah, this past month has been since SummerSlam, has been a very mid-cardy month. You could honestly say it's probably been a bit more accurate to what Superstars actually was, but it's been very different to what Superstars has been throughout the course of this save. We are going back to power, strong characters coming in, because I think we've got one more Saturday Night main event in October, which I may change actually to a Halloween-themed name, because, as I said, I am trying to bring in more pay-per-views. We know we've got Wrestle Dream coming in April or May, post-Mania, which will be a co-pro with War. So Hayabusa and that lot will be on that show. So whenever that's happening, maybe we do rename this. Give me an idea for a Halloween-themed pay-per-view in the comments below. Obviously, it can't be Havoc. That's WCW. See you later, though, guys. Goodbye.